Hey, what's up? My name's Melanie. I'm not Nathan. What is happening is I asked my cousin Kevah to design me a family with a potential suitor for Kevyn. So what I did was had her create the family, and then I chose a house in the world that was available and remodeled it to fit what I thought fit their storyline for the Sims that she created. I am going to go ahead and we're going to watch the speed build together and kind of I'll comment on what's going on here. I want to apologize in advance that when it turns it's blurry, because of fast forwarding and stuff. So it's going to take some getting used to. I'm going to do some more research on speed builds in case I do this again. But yeah, so right now we're working on the outside. I thought that this house looked it kind of looks like an old brick house that was built in like the 1800s or something, So I wanted to go for a painted brick look and go black and white. I don't know why that's usually my go-to, black and white with some color. So right now I'm just changing the exterior from I don't remember what the building was before, like a tan or gray color, I think. And then the windows from the green color and all the railings and all that. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm changing the color on all those green windows, but I love those windows with the, I can't think of what they're called, but like the panels that fold, they technically could fold in front of your window. I love that. I love the idea of actually like having those in real life. And here I decided to use the black poles. Now I kind of wish I had done the white, but I just really wanted the black from the windows to match with something to kind of stand out a little more. And I thought it looked nice with the black tops on the railings. So that's why I decided to go with black rather than with white. If you hear my dog whining in the background, I'm really sorry because she's upset with me. She can't go outside right now because our neighbors are doing construction on their fence. And so there's like a big gaping hole in both our back and front yard fences. So she's not able to go outside by herself. She has to have us with her and her be on a leash because otherwise she'll run off. So right now what I'm doing is I'm deleting all the items in the bottom floor of the house so that I can start fresh with a new floor plan and move things around. Because I wanted to go with the fact that this is supposed to be an older house, I wanted to keep the kitchen very small. And so the kitchen's still going to be in this little area right here. That's going to be the bathroom. And I liked the idea of that because most of the time, even in the big houses, the kitchens tended to be a little on the smaller side. At least for like what I think should be a large kitchen, it usually wasn't. Because there wasn't as much stuff to put in your kitchen as there is today. I mean, like, yes, you needed to have room for like sinks and tubs and things like that that are a little bit more smaller and fit in the space better, now. But depending on your living situation, sometimes you'd have like one of those gigantic old ovens, which are super cool. But I'm saying that this house didn't, and that it just has a small kitchen. Like, I think that's more early 1900s, mid 1900s was the smaller kitchens, but I don't know. I'm not good with that kind of stuff. I just know I like old stuff. Hated the curtains. I'm pretty sure I bring back that curved one. I'm not sure, but now that I watch this, I kind of wish I had picked a different floor, or I wanted to do something, use things that I don't normally use, and I don't normally use this gray flooring or that either actually wall paper, I guess you'd call it. The wallpaper on the left with the leaves I think is super cool. I've used it before. There's a green swatch for it, and I've used that for like bedrooms, accent walls and stuff like that. But I thought it would be fun to do something different. What I imagine with this family, since they're going to be getting a divorce, they obviously don't get along, right? So what I'm thinking is like husband hired, I don't remember their names, but the husband hired the contractors and they came in and they took out all the furniture. And so they had to live upstairs for a while, and they started to work on the house on what the husband wanted, which most of the time guys don't pick good things. So I was like, it's okay that it kind of looks like trash and that I don't know what I'm doing, because for the most part, a husband would probably pick things like this and say it looks okay. And I mean, it doesn't look bad. I don't want to offend anybody. It doesn't look bad. It's just not the best. So anyways, that was kind of what I was envisioning in my head, was like, the husband made a mistake by picking things without consulting the wife. And so she's super ticked off because it's like, this is our space together. And now my house doesn't look put together. And I threw a lot of clutter items around. I'm not good at like remodeling houses in the first place. I don't know why I did this to myself, but I'm not good at filling large houses. Like I've remodeled small houses before that I think actually look okay, especially after playing in them in a while and knowing like what items function where and if it's better to move this thing over here. Obviously I'm not playing with this family, so I wasn't able to play test it, but you know, once I've lived in a place for a while, as you can see here, I really changed up the look of the living room. I actually really like how the living room looks. I just don't like the wallpaper on the right side. And then I threw a piano in to fill that big empty space because I felt like maybe one of the kids will grow up to play piano. Now here comes the fun part, this tiny kitchen. I think I chose the blue cabinets, but I actually decided to go with red because I thought having a fun, bright color made sense, especially with all the darks. Sorry, I think I have like an eyelash in my eye or my contact is freaking out, but I don't know. I just like the idea of something bright and very different from the darks in the rest of the house. So I'm picking, at first I started to go with older looking appliances and change the color of the countertops because I didn't like the way the counters looked with the appliances. But then I found that nice black modern looking fridge, and that's when I decided to go red because the red looked really good against it. So that's what I did there. I also decided to leave the outside completely alone. I didn't want to touch the outside. I wanted to leave it as it was because I actually think the outside is really pretty. I do think the gazebo could use like some adjusting as far as placement of chairs and things like that, but it's not too bad. So I decided to go ahead and just leave the outside as it was. The landscaping is fairly decent for being a Sims, like made by the Sims, made by under EA restrictions, so which basically means like minimum items and stuff like that, which this house is large, so it had a lot more. So yeah, I'm just going through appliances right now, putting in all the necessities, and by the time that I had reached the kitchen, about 40 minutes had passed, so I was getting pretty done. And I hadn't even touched the second and third floor, which technically there is no third floor, but you're gonna see here. So right now I deleted all the items in the upstairs, and initially I wasn't going to touch the floor plan, but then I decided, you know what, I'm going to change the floor plan just a little bit. I left the bedrooms as they were and decided to move the bathroom so that we had a little bit of a hallway space, which is way too large. I meant to put things in it and I didn't, and I'm too lazy now, and I'm not even going to really play in this house, so I don't really care. No one's ever going to see this again other than right now, so I just left it as it was. But her favorite color, the wife's favorite color is lavender. So I thought maybe because she was getting impatient, the contractors didn't come back and finish. They just left it as it was. She didn't get a choice. So she said, you know what? I'm going to do upstairs myself. And so that's why the bedrooms are the same, is because she took out a couple walls and then left the rest because she didn't trust her ability to redo everything. That's what I have in my brain. Okay. So I put lavender in the hallway, and I believe that's a lavender color in the daughter's bedroom because that is her favorite color. But we went with teal in their bedroom because I figured that the husband would get mad if she had used lavender in their shared bedroom. I was also super tempted because the room is so big. I was super tempted to get them separate beds and like WandaVision style, like have two single beds and put them like right next to each other, but like separated. I was super tempted to do that and I decided not to. But how dramatic would that have been? I should have done it. I really should have. That was the moment that when I put the rug down, I was like, maybe I should move the dresser in the mirror and put another bed over here. And then I started thinking about it in my head. And then I ended up not going back and doing that. But I'm not the greatest at furnishing things. And like I said, at this point, I was super tired of doing this. So I kind of was just rushing through it. And I'm also cutting a lot of footage because it was like an hour and a half worth of stuff. But this is the part I'm most excited for. So I put in a ladder, and this upstairs space is going to be for Bucky, Mr. Bucky Barnes. And so my thought was like, the husband was so gracious to take him in. He gave him this space upstairs to live in like forever so that they wouldn't have to do much with him. Obviously he's a child right now, like toddler cannot take care of himself, so they would have to take care of him a little bit. But once he's a child, he can pretty much live completely on his own. I put toys up there. I put a dresser up there. I put an adult bed. I put his own kitchen and bathroom and living space so that he could live up there without having to go downstairs. Obviously, he's going to be going to school and things like that, but my thought was like, when he comes home, he's just going to run up to his attic and live in there by himself without anybody else, you know? So that was the build. I'm going to, if I end up remembering to take them, I'm going to insert screenshots right here. I think it didn't turn out too bad. Like I said, the living room and Bucky's living area was really my favorite. I think I did fairly okay with filling the space, but not cluttering the space. And I generally based it off things that I've actually seen, like weird homes that kind of just look thrown together. And I don't mind that so much. You know, I'm not trying to be like, if your house looks like this, it looks really bad. That's not what I'm saying. But just like, you know, making it look like not a professional. No professional came in and did this, right? Like they kind of just threw it together with the knowledge that they had and maybe adjusted some things over time. So thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to play in it for a day and split this family apart. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week with part 5 and back with both Kevyns. How confusing is this going to be? Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Is this where Bucky lives?
Yes.
Nice! Banished to the attic.
Yes, exactly.